Welcome, 1 Hour Smart Home here, and today we're going to review the Sonos Era 100 1 year later. So this smart speaker was launched in 2023, and I'm going to give you my advice and updates on this after having it for a year. I've always been a big fan of Sonos and even had the original Sonos speakers. Through those years, they've updated the product continually, and we're going to go over, is it worth it to get the Sonos Era 100 versus your old Sonos speakers? So this is a Wi-Fi smart speaker, which means that you're going to be able to stream music services like Spotify or Apple Music right through your phone to the speaker. But it also does have an auxiliary input, so if you wanted to stream from something like a record player, you absolutely could do that, but you would need an adapter in order to make that work. But what's nice is that once you have that streaming capability from the ported auxiliary in, you could actually broadcast that music to other Sonos speakers within your ecosystem. So let's go through some of the specifications of the Sonos Era 100 in what was updated from previous generations of the Sonos speaker lineup in this one, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think about this after using it for 1 year. So this is both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled. And what that means is right from your phone, you're going to be able to stream your favorite music services either through your Wi-Fi network and or through Bluetooth. So if you're not connected to your Wi-Fi network, or let's say you've got a guest that comes over and they want to connect directly to this via Bluetooth, you absolutely can do that to be able to stream music. And or let's say your Wi-Fi network is down, you could still connect to this via Bluetooth, and then you could stream music to the speaker as well. It is also AirPlay compatible or AirPlay 2 compatible, which means that you can stream directly from your phone to this using AirPlay as well. So you've got 3 different methods that you can stream from your phone to this device, as well as the aux in. Now, another feature is that it does have a built-in voice assistant. It's got Amazon Alexa voice assistant capability, meaning that you can ask it to play music straight through Alexa or even control other smart home devices like a smart thermostat through Alexa with this device. It also does have a Sonos voice assistant, but that is less advanced than the Alexa voice assistant. And if you wanted to use a voice assistant, I would recommend using the Alexa voice assistant instead of the Sonos voice assistant. Now, it's notable that from previous generations, they no longer have the Google Assistant option with its speaker. So it's either the Sonos voice assistant or you've got Alexa voice assistant, and that is it. But what I do like about this is that it does have a hardwired switch in here to turn off that voice assistant capability and the listening microphone if you don't want to use the voice assistant. However, I do think it adds capability to this smart speaker to have voice assistant functionality to stream music or skip to the next song or turn up or down the volume if you don't have your phone with you. Now, in terms of controls, they have been updated from previous generations of the Sonos speaker. As you can see here on the top of the device, you have a pause play button, and then you have a back or forward button to go to the next song or to repeat the last song. And then you also have touch capacitive controls for volume, where you can slide up or down on this volume scale to increase the volume of the device. And as you see on the top here, you've got 4 little holes up here at the top, and those holes are the listening microphones, so that if you are enabling the voice assistant, it will be able to hear you and understand your voice commands. When the light on the little message icon is lit up, that means that your voice assistant is enabled and connected so that you could use voice commands with your Sonos Era 100 speaker. Now, in terms of the actual physical capabilities of the speaker, they have been upgraded from previous generations. Most notably, it has a 25% increase in the subwoofer size, meaning that you're going to have better low sounds and bass sounds, as well as better overall sound. Now, they also created a new custom waveguide that's going to create a larger soundstage. And what that means is that within a room, you're going to hear better quality sound throughout the room in a larger cone throughout the room. But what I've always liked about Sonos speakers is they do a really good job of being able to bounce sound around the room to give you a really complete sound from one single speaker within a room. But you can also pair these together with other Sonos speakers, or you could pair this as a stereo pair with another Sonos Era 100 speaker. And that's another thing to note. This Sonos Era 100 does have stereo sound built in, so you will have stereo sound even from one speaker if you don't have it paired with another Sonos speaker, and that's a nice upgrade from previous generation Sonos speakers. They also have two tweeter speakers up here at the top that are going to give you enhanced mid and high ranges in the sound profile. Overall, in the last year of using the Sonos Era 100, there is a definitive difference in the sound quality between the Sonos Era 100 speakers and the previous generations of the Sonos speakers. You can definitely hear that there is deeper bass, there is more clarity in the sound, and I guess the best way to describe it is that the sound feels more complete and more whole than previous generations. If you set this right next to a previous generation Sonos speaker, you will notice that the sound is much more wholesome out of the Sonos Era 100 than the previous generations, and it's actually quite stunning how different it is. So I think the question comes down to, would you upgrade from your previous generation Sonos speakers to the Sonos Era 100? And I think it's kind of a mixed approach. For me, I'm not going to get rid of my old Sonos speakers. However, if I am adding Sonos speakers, I'm going to add the new Sonos 100 to provide additional coverage throughout my home or different locations. And the reason is that there is a noticeable sound quality difference between the existing speakers and the new speakers. However, I've already made the investment in those and they work fairly good. So maybe I'll rotate those out to, let's say, the garage and rotate these into rooms that I use more often. But what's nice about the Sonos system overall, not just the Sonos Era 100, is that you can stream all that music through all those speakers at the same time, giving you effectively a sound system or a surround sound system if you've got it set up with all those speakers. Now, you could play all the same song throughout your house on all of your Sonos speakers, or you can play different songs in different rooms, and you can control it from your phone. And in using this Sonos speaker for the last year and other Sonos speakers for years, I think that's the biggest selling point of Sonos. Are there other sound systems that are going to have higher quality sound? Absolutely. However, the user interface of the Sonos system makes it very easy for me, guests, and my family to use the Sonos system. And that means that I'm going to listen to more music that I want to in more rooms and where I want to more often, and just overall enjoy music without the stress of setup. These are easy to set up, and once they're set up, you just go to the Sonos app, or you can go to many of your streaming services and control the sound from there, and I can skip through songs or play whatever I want. And that's really the selling point of this. It's easy to access music that's at your fingertips with good sound quality, as well as you have a voice assistant built in if you want that. And then you can easily pair these with other Sonos speakers or combine that whole system within the Sonos app to play music throughout your house. And that's what I find most enjoyable about the Sonos speakers and the Sonos sound system in general, including the Sonos Era 100. So overall, my opinion is that this is a definite upgrade from previous generations. And I think the most notable features is that 25% increase in the subwoofer, as well as I like that they do have a line in if you want to use that, and the hard disconnect switch of the voice assistant if you don't want to have voice assistants throughout your house. Previous generations, you either had the voice assistant enabled Sonos speaker or one that wasn't enabled with the voice assistant. With this, it's an easy hard switch to turn it on or off. Overall, over the last year, I love the form factor and size of these speakers and the ease of which you can just start playing music by plugging them in and setting them up on your app in just a few minutes. We also have a video that shows you how to do that, so go check down in the description below if you want to learn how to set up your Sonos Era 100. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.